Okay, Marcy Berger, we're
Hi.
recording. You know, we got first like our YouTube channel and whatever, leave comments. You know, yesterday I got an email from a new broker. He's actually said, I'm looking at the email now, and it's a little bit we're not as sharp as I don't want to say we're not as on point as we should because I'm reading the email. But basically, this guy says he enjoys our videos. And he had some questions. He said he's been in residential business for 6 years. He just got into commercial and he had some questions. And I guess these are questions that we share the same frustrations with all the time. So his question number one is, we should discuss title work and appraisals for commercial real estate and how they hold up a closing and what a broker can do, if anything. Then he says, when a broker, when a hard money lender says 2 to 3 weeks of closing, when does the clock start? Coincidentally, we're making this, and I'm guessing we have 4 or 5 deals in the pipeline that are ready to close, except the title.
Except on the title.
So it's his email came at, and this is all the time. So his email came at a perfect time. And what's the recommendation?
So
Marcy?
I work directly with this because I close the loan. So
yes, you do.
What I would want to tell brokers is be very selective what title agent. We let our brokers choose the title agent that will close the loan. So I will recommend that you do a lot of research on the title agent, because if there's a bad title agent, it messes up the whole deal. And what happened, like on one of my loans, is I had to switch title agents. So, you know, read about them, make sure that they know how to do commercial.
Get
make
referrals.
Sure, yeah, that they have good reviews.
Can I have another suggestion?
Sure.
A lot of times, it seems to me that the borrowers are ordering the title reports after we issue a term sheet. And so we don't get the title report for a week, 10 days. Some of these counties are taking.
Sometimes taking 3 weeks.
Yeah. What do you think about if they know they want to refi or purchase it, order it up front?
You could. I mean, that way you know what you're dealing with.
Deal with the problem if there's a problem up front.
Because, for example, on one of my deals right now, we got title back and the borrower didn't know that all these previous UCCs and loans, judgments, liens, they're not released off the title. So now my borrower has to go back to these companies and gather all these releases and UCC releases. And it takes time. But if you know you're refinancing, go ahead and order title. And that way you know what you're dealing with. You have somewhat of a clean title before you even get to a lender. That could be another way of looking at it too.
So just to put it in the framework for all the mortgage brokers and borrowers listening, if you bring Gelt a deal and you have a full title, and we don't really do appraisals, so we can literally close a deal in 2, 3, 4 days. What takes the longest amount of time is the title, almost consistently.
Right. And then wait, one more thing I want to say about that.
A lot more to say.
I have a lot to say today.
No, I know.
So also another thing with the title agent, like
can't keep Marcy in the corner. You can't keep Marcy.
When you are definitely, most of these we do our refinances, and especially if if there's a balloon, and you definitely know that you're going to be paying something off before you even start reaching out. Try to start reaching out for all these payoffs, because I have another deal that the title agent did not start working on the payoffs until before a couple of days before we wanted to close. And I'm like, what do you mean you haven't gotten the payoffs yet? Which again is not the lender's job. That's the title agent's job to gather the payoffs.
Or have the borrower do it.
Or the borrower. The borrower has to. So get your payoffs. Like I have one deal that it's a tax lien, and those payoffs don't come so fast. You know, you have to request them. Even if you request them 30 days longer than you think, the worst that would come out of the situation is that you overpay them, and then they refund you the money. But you already have a payoff for the title agent, because the bottom line is that we of course need clear title to be in first position to close your loan.
A couple other things on that. So order the title in advance, make sure it's clear, clean it up. What we also see a lot of problems, and we made other videos on this, a lot of people who have corporations or LLC let their good standings or the renewals expire. We have another loan that it's all screwed up. It's not a corporation, it's in New York. It's a corporation in New York, and it's a disaster. Again, we're ready to close the loan. The guy happens to be in foreclosure. we're ready to close, but because he didn't pay his annual corporate registration fee
We
to,
couldn't get a letter of good
to
standing.
clean it up now,
Clean it
instead
up.
of something that we could have it closing today, it's going to take a week or 2 weeks.
Right.
So
So that's another good point. Let's also just explain to the brokers and to the borrowers will know this because that's how they set their business, the difference between an LLC and a corporation. So let's talk about that so that people understand. There's different documents that are needed depending on how you have your LLC or corporation set up. So for example, on corporation, you have bylaws instead of an operating agreement. You have a members list, and you also have stock certificate. So it's very common that you issue a stock certificate, and then like for us, we utilize, we want to see the stock certificate and hold it as collateral for our loan. So all those different documents you should have together before you even apply for the loan, because it just makes everything faster. And then for a corporation, you have an operating agreement
For an LLC.
articles for an LLC, excuse me. You have an operating agreement, you have articles, you have proof of EIN, and you have letter of good standing. So if you have all your corporate documents or LLC documents all gathered correctly, that also will make it go faster.
yeah, so the bottom line, I think, is be prepared.
Be
With
prepared.
the title, with your corporate documents. Again, we remember, we only make money once
If we close loans.
well, yeah, we make money through the monthly payments.
Yeah.
So we have literally a whole board of loans that are ready to close, but various things are holding it up that could have been dealt with in advance. The title's a perfect example, and Marcy brought up the corporate documents. That's always a disaster. People don't have them together. Get this stuff in advance. So, I want to go, this broker particularly asked, what do we do to ensure a 2 to 3 week closing? I can tell you that we can do it in a couple days if you bring us a complete package and disclose everything up front. We often are told a partial story. There was another case where we approved the deal and no one mentioned anything about a bankruptcy. And then after we approved the deal, a week later, we find out the guy was.
It was dismissed, but it was recent.
Yeah, so disclose everything up front. If you come to the lender, whether it be Gelt or someone else, with the complete package, the title, the corporate documents, whatever the bad stuff is, get it out of the way first. The deal will close quick. I know with Gelt and other hard money lenders, we're closing them within days. Well, Gelt is. I don't know about any
We're a
other.
direct lender. We do everything
Yeah,
in-house.
that's correct.
We can get it done, and I take it to closing for you, and and handle all the parties involved in the deal. So it just makes it go smoother if you
Be prepared.
Be
Be
prepared.
prepared.
Have your documents together.
And brokers should ask borrowers questions. We find all the time a broker will be so excited to get a deal, they'll just send it to us and they don't know half the story. So be prepared. And we've made so many videos on this. We really have. We said, invest the time up front. It goes so smooth. And when it goes smooth, the closing gets done smooth.
Right.
So I think we answered this broker's questions. It was really when a hard lender.
And the bottom line is with the time frame, that was another one of his questions.
It's usually from the signed term sheet.
It's from the signed term sheet to the end. If title runs smooth, if we have to order it, I'm saying if you don't bring me title, we can get it done in 2 to 3 weeks. If it comes in
Without a title, if you bring us a title,
we
it could
can
be
get it done in
days.
a couple of days. So it just depends on how organized your borrower is.
Yeah.
And as the broker, you need to organize your borrower.
And different locations are different. There was one, give an example, in South Florida, we can get a title in 4 or 5 days. Philadelphia, 4 or 5 days. There was one in, what state was it? Virginia,
Virginia,
where they said,
really long time.
the title company, the first title company, they said they needed
30 to 60 days.
30 to
Crazy.
60 days.
Yeah.
We're ready to close the deal today. But
Yeah, so in that situation, that title agent was not for us. So we had
she
to
found a new
switch
title agent.
title agents, and I reordered title from someone else because that was not on my time frame. So
Yeah, and I would, with title agents, it's a very good point. There's a lot of one-man or two-man bands, and they're probably very good. I would go with one of the big
If you
shops.
go with one of the national, you're gonna get it done
We've seen
with-
all kinds
with
of,
professionalism.
we've seen, I don't want to get too into it, but we actually had an incident, yes, I don't know if I told you, someone forged our name, a title company.
I mean, it doesn't surprise
Yeah,
me.
we've had all kinds of horror stories with payoffs, with little one and two man shops. I would use
It's best to use the national
one of the
one.
big players.
Yeah, because you're gonna get better service and you're paying the same amount of money. It doesn't
Okay.
matter.
I hope we answered your question. The timing starts from when we get the signed term sheet. Keep posting your questions. We'll answer them. Remember to like our YouTube channel. Leave your comments. This is a direct, some guy sent me an email. We're making this for them. Remember, when your bank says no, we say yes. And remember, we're a portfolio lender. You're always going to speak to a decision maker. We can close click. We don't need secondary market. In fact, everyone else is raising the rates. We're lowering our rates. We're doing deals that other people aren't. So think of us. We'd love to do your deal. Take care. Have a wonderful day.